You've probably felt it, right? That little shift every time you search for something online, it feels different. Well, that's because the ground is literally shifting under our feet. The simple act of Googling something is going through its biggest change in a generation. We're moving away from a list of links and into a direct conversation that just gives you the answer.
And look, this is not some far-off theoretical thing. Just read this quote. It's based on the trends we're seeing right now, imagining what someone might be saying in February 2026. A website owner's traffic, their entire livelihood, just gone, wiped out overnight. This is the reality people are starting to face, and it shows you just how high the stakes are for what we're talking about.
So, it really begs the question, what in the world just happened to the internet? And while it's tempting to blame it all on one algorithm update, the truth is, that's just a symptom. This is part of a much, much bigger transformation. Search itself is being totally redesigned from the ground up.
So, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll talk about why the search you grew up with is basically over. Then, we'll get to know its replacement, the answer engine. We're going to dissect that crazy 2026 update to see how this all works in the real world. And then we'll lay out the new rules for actually getting seen. And finally, we'll look ahead and ask the big one. What does success even mean when clicks aren't the goal anymore?
All right, let's dive right in with the earthquake itself. Why is the old model, the one that built the internet as we know it for decades, why is it suddenly obsolete?
I mean, for as long as any of us can remember, search was simple, right? You typed something in, you got a page with 10 blue links. Well, that era isn't just ending, it's already been replaced. See, the search engine is no longer a directory pointing you to different places. It is the place. It wants to be the final destination.
And you know, this isn't just Google pushing some new tech on us. It's a reaction to how we've changed. With 8.5 billion with a B, Google searches every single day. We've all been trained. We expect an instant, perfect answer right there on the page. We don't want to go hunting for it anymore. We want it delivered on a silver platter.
Okay, so if our expectations have changed and search engines aren't really for searching anymore, what are they becoming? Well, they're evolving into something completely new. They're becoming answer engines.
And to play in this brand new game, you need a totally new playbook. It's called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO for short. So forget everything you thought you knew about getting to number one. The new goal isn't to be a link on a list. The goal is to be the source. It's to make your content so good, so authoritative, that the AI literally uses your words to build its answer.
This table really lays it all out. Old school versus new school. Traditional SEO, it was like playing a game of Battleship, right? You were just guessing keywords, hoping for a hit. GEO is completely different. It's more like being the star expert witness in a court case. It's not about one magic word. It's about building such a deep, undeniable case for your expertise, what we call topical authority, that the AI has no choice but to see you as the most reliable source there is.
And this right here, this is exactly why being the source is the only thing that matters anymore. Data shows that a staggering 58% of people are totally happy with the AI's answer. They get what they need, and they never click a single link. Just let that sink in for a second. If your content isn't part of that AI summary, you are completely invisible to the majority of your audience.
Okay, so that's the theory. Now let's bring this back down to earth and connect it to that real-world earthquake we started with, that 2026 update. See, that wasn't just some random tweak. It was a very clear, very deliberate move to push the internet faster into this answer-first world.
The whole update was really built on three main ideas, and they all point right back to GEO. First, it rewarded local relevant content. Second, it cracked down hard on clickbait and cheap tricks. And third, and this was the real kicker, it gave a huge boost to deep, expert-driven original content. In other words, it finally started rewarding real authority.
And this next part is maybe the most important thing to get. Google's AI now thinks like a specialist, not a generalist. It judges your expertise topic by topic. So a small local news site with an amazing long-running gardening section, the AI might see it as a world-class expert on plants. But a huge movie review website that does one random article about roses, it gets nothing. In this new world, deep expertise in one thing will always beat shallow coverage of everything.
Okay, so we get the problem, right? We've seen the proof. Now for the million-dollar question. What on earth do we do about it? How do we adapt and actually win? Well, this brings us to the solution, the new playbook for being visible in the age of AI. Now, the good news is you don't have to burn everything to the ground and start over. You can tackle this in 3 really manageable steps. First is just an honest assessment. Look at what you've already got and ask, is this actually built to answer a real question? Second, you want to pilot. Don't try to boil the ocean here. Just pick a few important pages and try out these new geo ideas. And finally, once you see it working, you scale. You make this new way of thinking a part of your entire content process.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it all starts with the basics. A fast, healthy website that's easy to use. Then you build what are called topic clusters. Think of them as little libraries of articles all on one subject, all linking to each other, proving you know your stuff. The content itself needs to answer questions the way real people talk. You can even use some technical tricks like structured data. It's like putting little labels on your content so the AI can understand it better. But at the end of the day, none of this works if it's not authentic. You have to actually be a real expert.
Okay, so we've got the new playbook. We know what to do, but how do you keep score? What's the new scoreboard look like? If clicks aren't the main goal anymore, what does success even look like in this new future?
Yeah, the entire definition of success is being flipped on its head. We used to obsess over where we ranked and how many people clicked our link. Now the metric that matters is visibility inside the AI's answer. Are you being cited? How often? What percentage of the AI's answer is based on your work? That's the new benchmark. That's the new authority.
And if you look at this timeline, the thing that just jumps out is the speed of this change. I mean, what started as just an experiment back in 2023 quickly became a core feature used by billions. Then the 2026 updates slammed on the accelerator. The path from here is pretty clear. Search is going to stop being a website you go to, and it's going to become this constant conversational layer on top of everything. Our phones, our cars, our homes.
And all of that brings us back to the one single question that matters most for anyone creating anything online right now. In a world where an AI gives the answer directly, the only way to win, the only way, is to become the trusted, authoritative source that the AI has to rely on. So the question you need to ask yourself is this: how will you become the source?